Introducing the all-new Bitly Analytics, a way to see how all your links and QR codes are performing in one simple and insightful dashboard. Create custom data visuals and access click and scan metrics so you can uncover new trends that help your business grow. Know when, where, and how your audience engages with your brand. And hone in on the channels and campaigns that are performing best. Unlock simply insightful analytics and start seeing better results in the Bitly Connections platform with all new analytics.
And we'll give everybody just a few moments to trickle in, and then we will start talking numbers. Okay, Armani, let's move on to the title slide since we're not starting soon, but we're starting now. Welcome everybody. Thanks for tuning in. As I said a moment ago, worldwide. We know that Bitly finds you in lots of different places around the globe, and we're happy to chat with you today. So real quick, simply measuring, reporting on impact. There's a lot of numbers floating around out there. We're all trying to make the best version of our business, of our marketing, IT solutions, whatever it happens to be. We're super excited that Bitly is a part of your tech stack, or you're considering it as a part of your tech stack. Today, we want to talk a little bit about goal setting, measuring those goals, and then of course, reporting on impact. And the star of this show, this webinar, is the Bitly Analytics, right? Which is a part of an all new redesigned product within Bitly to really help give you insights. And as you can see here on the screen, I'm the one on the, I guess, well, it's my left. I don't know if it's your right. Little bit both geography and directionally challenged here, but I'm Daniel Worsamo, the Senior Social Media Manager at Bitly. Really put the social in social media, and happy to be one of your co-hosts. And I'll kick it over to part two of our hosts here and allow him to introduce himself.
Hello, I am the other host. I'm Armani Glaspie. I am a product marketing manager here at Bitly. I'm very excited to be talking with you guys about analytics, and really want to see the chat popping off today, see what you guys have questions about and all of that jazz. But with that, I'll hand it back over to Daniel, and he'll get into some housekeeping items.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so folks, simple session rules here. It's a conversation, right? Bitly webinars are meant to be a two-way street, or 2 to 200, depending on the attendance numbers that we'll get at the end of this all. Let's talk, right? We've got the chat feature, we've got the Q&A, we have some co-pilots in the back end who are ready to answer your questions, and we will be able to just go ahead and answer those hopefully as best as we can. And if we don't get to them, rest assured we're pulling them all out and we'll respond to you there. So let's go ahead. We're going to share this recording. You're going to get some resources after this. So, just tune in and have a great time. Then, of course, like I've already said, we're here to answer your questions. So let's have some fun, and we'll go ahead and get started.
Ooh, so this is a quote that we start off with and something that we hear a lot. I feel like there's so much more that I could do with the platform. And that is very true. I think of Bitly as, continued learning, continued education, because there's always something new. There's always something that you can dive deeper into. There's always something that you can know more about. There's always some way, somehow, that you can optimize. And today we're really going to be talking about how to do that with your analytics. Now, for those of you who are familiar with the Bitly Connections platform, and those of you that are not, we have a few offerings. We have QR codes, we have link management, we have link in bio, And with all of those things, it's tied together with analytics, being able to get the analytics from your QR codes, your link management, your link in bio. And that's what we're really going to focus on today is how you can use those analytics, how you can take advantage of those analytics to really empower your company, empower your customers, and create that connection that's going to be deeper than it ever has been before. Now, before we really dive into the content that you all are so excited about, I know you're over there shaking with excitement right now. We want to go into the chat and talk about your goals for 2024. So we have a little poll here. We want to know if your goals are going to be to grow your audience. Are you really trying to get more people to come into your offering, your product? Are you really trying to connect with your customers? Do you want them to have access to really good content? Do you want them to have higher engagement rates? What are you looking for there? And lastly, are you trying to track your connections? Are you trying to see how your analytics are going up, what the trends are, really what you're trying to do with your platform moving forward? So you can drop that here in the chat right now, what you're trying to do. Are you trying to grow, trying to connect? Are you trying to track? Really want to see what you guys are talking about. I see a lot of tracks, which kind of makes sense because we're talking about analytics, but growing and tracking, I see a lot going on here. But the beautiful thing about that is that we're going to help you achieve all of those goals. That is what the Connections platform is here to do. I saw a really good comment that talked about tracking conversions, tracking those metrics. And I think that's something that we're really going to dive into deeper today about tracking those things, how to benchmark those things, and really how to move forward in that area. So with that being said, thank you all for all of the comments that you have in here about what your goals are. I'm going to hand it over to our wonderful social media manager, Daniel, here to talk about why these goals matter.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Obviously, when we set a goal, right, we want them to be impactful, right? That's the name of the game here and the name of the webinar. I did see in the chat that somebody was interested in mustache growing tips, which is outside of the choices. Happy to chat about that later, but let's just stay focused on our three here. When we talk about all three of these things, right? Growing audience, making connections, tracking, right? They're kind of the fundamental parts of measuring impact and goal setting. So we actually, cameras are off. So we're going to trust that you're doing this. But for a moment, I just want to take, I've also done that before, Brian, all sorts of tips, beauty tips. We can do another webinar about that. Anyways, close your eyes. And I really want you to imagine a couple of things with your eyes closed. And so hopefully you're not cheating. You're just standing in front of your computer, eyes closed. And I want you to be able to visualize something, right? What I want you to visualize is the audience, right? Who is the person or people or groups of individuals that you are trying to communicate with? What is your audience? Who are you trying to connect with? What are they doing? How are they interacting with your brand or your company, your store, your product? To visualize that. And I'm doing it with my eyes closed as well, because I'm thinking about all of you. Y'all are my audience. What do you want from them? Right? So this is the next part of visualization. Are you handing a product across a digital divide? Are you wanting them to scan something, click on something, travel from point A to point B, right? And then the last part that I want you to visualize is, what does success look like? Are you in the top of the mountain of your entrepreneurship? You've built a brand, you've built a following, a successful business. Right? What does that look like, right? So I want you to visualize that. I want you to dream big. And then in that vision quest, I want you to put Bitly in there as well. So if you got a little more room for that in your dream, put Bitly in there. Why are we creating a link or QR code, right? These are three questions that you want to think about. So as you've done that, you can open your eyes again. Okay, right? We're talking about audience. How do we connect with them, right? And then the next piece, what is the outcome that you want of that audience? What do you want them to do? And then how are we going to measure success? And like we said before, right, with all this goal setting, there are different ways that Bitly can help you do that. And so I'm going to let Armani talk about that a little bit more.
Beautiful. So how are we going to set these goals? Let's dive a little bit deeper into that. The overall goal here with the Connections platform is in the word Connections platform. It's the connection. It's the root of that. We want to create more moments to connect with your customers. We want you to create those moments. We want you to be able to engage them, be able to understand them, really be able to tap into those customers, your customers, in a way that you haven't before. And you can very much do that with analytics. But analytics is a very broad term. There's a lot of things that you can do with analytics. There's a lot of different metrics that you can target, track, benchmark. But today we're going to take it back a step. And we're going to ask about where your audience is. Where do they live? That's a really good place to start. What is their location? Are they East Coast? Are they West Coast? Are they in the Midwest? Are they Central Time? Like, where are they? And how does that play into the content that you're bringing to them? Number two is that referral source. Where are they coming from? Now, what this means is, are they coming from a QR code? Are they coming from a link in bio? Are they coming from a short link that you put on Twitter or X, as they call it nowadays? They switch up the name every so often. Where are they coming from? Number two that we're going to talk about here is, how is your audience engaging? The first thing here is the top performing. What is already working? What is really going on right now that is bringing you success to your company, that's getting you the metrics that really make your eyes pop, that make you say, wow, we actually are doing very well at this moment. Number two is the device. Where are they coming from? Are they clicking from a phone? Are they clicking from a computer? How are they getting into that link itself? Because the different types of ways that they're going to interact with your content will help you tailor that content to them. Because if they're on a phone, you would not want to link them to a web page where they have to scroll a lot. But if they're on a computer and you know they are, and they have more content that they can see, that might help you change your content that you're going to offer to them. Now, the last one here is time. When are they paying attention? I really don't want to discount this at all, because you do not want to send an email or send a link with an email at 9 p.m. Eastern time if that's your goal to get engagement. You want to know where they are, which goes back to our previous slide, so that you can know what time they're in, what they're going to be able to look at when you want them to look at it. So I think starting with those two things there, when you're talking about connecting with your audience, is understanding where they are and then understanding how they're engaging. Now, to go deeper into that, I want to talk about a few examples of what times and when people are paying attention. Now, some oftentimes and some often celebrations around holidays, or when people are going to go to Black Friday shopping, they're going to be a lot more engaged. Around Valentine's Day, which is coming up, you might be looking at people that are searching for gifts, and they're clicking on your links at a very high rate to see what they're going to get for their significant other. Another time that is really, really popular is that back to school month. You know, as kids are getting ready to go back to school, the links may increase. You may see the seasonality there. And that goes into the seasonality. You want to make sure that, you know, if your content doesn't perform that well in the winter, that you can offset that by performing very, very well in the summer, by offering that tailored content to understand where your audience is, what they're doing, what they really pay attention to. And looking at some of these things and looking at some of these key events may help you do that when you're paying attention to your analytics and seeing dips or seeing, I would say, peaks in your data. I think this is a really, really good place to start if you are trying to look and trying to just really zoom into different areas of where your data may see some discrepancies or some peaks and some valleys. Now, with that being said, I want to hand this back over to Daniel, and he's going to talk a little bit about setting some of our simple goals, as we like to call them.
Man, I hope you got the whole talking on mute on your bingo card. It's 2024 and we're still doing that, folks. Maybe you've heard of SMART goals before. Bitly has patented, or is patent pending, trademarking all the sorts of legal things, something called the simple process for setting simple goals. We want to make sure that as you're thinking about what you want to accomplish this year, whether it being, you know, visualizing your audience, determining where they are in the world, time, place, device, all that sort of stuff, and then measuring that impact and then making some decisions there, that you're setting simple goals. And so we've created this handy dandy, I can't even say it. We've created a device here for y'all. Okay, keep it simple, right? And the first part of keeping it simple is keeping it simple. We want to make sure that your goals are insightful. We want to make sure we're measuring them. They should be predictive, right? What sort of patterns are we creating or trends here? Or being able to deal with unpredictable things because you can see the spike, right? What are the trends? If there's a spike or a dip, right? It breaks that prediction. You can make some moves. It should be logical, right? Make some important and straightforward decisions, and then efficient, right? This shouldn't be a huge time consuming process. So if you're able to follow these things in this new system that we've created, out with the smart, in with the simple, this is going to be the Bitly way. We've always tried to keep it simple with you all, shortening links, QR codes, link in bio, simple is what we do. And that's Bitly Analytics as well. With this in mind, right, what can we do right now that we've identified our audience and where they are? What is possible, or what should you be doing to double check your impact, to see that it's working, to measure, to find all sorts of information? Armani, what's next?
What's next? Let's get into that. First things first is getting a baseline. Now, I like to take you on a little journey here. If you are going somewhere, if you're going somewhere for dinner, or if you're traveling somewhere, you have to understand where you are first so that you can get the directions to where you want to go. That is the same exact thing with analytics. You are not going to be able to understand your analytics until you understand where you currently are. You're not going to be able to understand where you want to go until you understand where you currently are. So the first step is really getting that baseline. You want to sit down and understand what is currently happening with your analytics. Are there people clicking at different times of the day? As Hal mentioned earlier, early in the morning, you might sift through it. You don't really want to pay attention then. So is that the case right now? Are there other trends that are emerging when you're looking at your analytics currently that are going to let you set that baseline and see where you are so that you can understand where you want to go? Number two here is setting your own benchmarks, which comes from getting that baseline. You really want to be able to understand, hey, right now we are right here, but in 2 or 3 months, we want to increase our engagement rate by 7%. And you are able to understand that because you understood where you currently were. And you now know that your benchmark is at, I don't know, 40%, and you want to get to 47. You need to be able to understand always what that baseline is so that benchmark can be set so that you have a place to go from and go forward to. Now, last but certainly not least, is seeing those patterns and trends emerge. You want to take a look at seasonality. You want to take a look at the days of the week when people may be clicking. I know that maybe Mondays and Tuesdays may not be the best times for my customers, so we're going to send out links on Thursdays and Wednesdays. I know that early in the morning isn't the best time, and we're seeing that happen over the course of 2 or 3 months. So that is not just that's not just a coincidence, that's a trend. We want to be able to track it long enough to see a trend, but not track it too long to where we miss out on opportunities to actually increase that engagement or increase whatever metric it is that you want. So as you're paying attention to those patterns and trends, I would say for myself, as I've done with data before, maybe look at it for a quarter, maybe look at it for 2 quarters. Get enough data to where you're not going to be able to say, this might be a coincidence, but not too much data where you're missing out on those opportunities, as I just said. Now, once you do all three of those things, it really does give you an opportunity to move your analytics from where it currently is and really start thinking forward into the future about what it is that you want to do and what it is that you want to accomplish. Now, with those three things, I would love for you all to tell us where you are at on your journey right now. Are you just getting your baseline? Are you already having your baseline and now you have benchmarks? And then if you have those two things already set, are you looking right now to see what trends and patterns are emerging in your data so that you can take it to the next level? Really would love to see, where you guys are in this moment right now. Taking a look at the chat, see a lot of baselines. I love it. I love it. There's no better time to start than now, is what I've always been told in everything. Go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah, I was just going to say, for all of you who are saying you're at the baseline, I've been there, right? I've worked in social media. I started at Bitly about 16 months ago, right? And when I joined at Bitly, we had to get a baseline. So whether you are, a seasoned professional in your role, right? Baselines has got to be the starting, right? Every race starts at a starting line, and then we set a goal, and then we take that journey. So, I'm there right now. I'm just wrapping up what's 2024, what are our benchmarks, and where do I want to go? But I spent all 2023 establishing those baselines so that we could set goals in our social media, right? What sort of engagement are we looking for? How many clicks and scans? How are we, going to increase participants in a webinar? All of those sorts of things. We got to start somewhere. So even if that number is low, even if that number is zero, right? Just get started, right? Get going and all that sort of stuff. So it's a really exciting time, especially January 2024, right? New year, new you. And so it's really important that you set your goals, and then we can always track and see trends and then adjust accordingly, right? That's the most important thing here. So set those baselines, create benchmarks, move on to the trends. Yeah.
Ooh, beautiful, beautiful. Let's move forward to some success metrics that we can talk about. I know we talked about getting the baseline, setting your benchmark, seeing the patterns and trends emerge. Doesn't matter what phase you're in, you are going to want to pay attention to certain metrics. And so our in-house experts over here comprised a list of 4 metrics that we think would be very helpful for you in your journey in your analytics. Now, that first one is the number of clicks and scans over time. Now, this helps track the performance over different time periods. This helps you identify trends, peak activity times, and any variations in that user engagement. I think that goes back to what we were talking about earlier with really understanding your benchmarks and understanding your baseline. You want to be able to understand what is happening when it is happening. And that clicks and scans over time is a great metric to be able to understand that. Number 2 is the number of clicks and scans by referred. Now, what this is in layman's terms is providing the insights into the source that is driving traffic. That's going to be identifying which platforms, which websites or marketing channels are the most effective for your business. You don't want to be posting our links on Facebook if people aren't engaging with it, or X or Twitter or Instagram. You want to be able to post it where you're getting the most engagement. So being able to track that is really going to help you with your campaigns, because it's going to optimize what channel you're going to use in order to get your audience to come in, click, increase engagement, increase conversions, increase time spent on page, whatever metric is after that. It starts with where they actually going to get to your page from. What platform is doing that? Number 3 is the top performing by clicks and scans. Those links and those QR codes. Now, this helps you prioritize and focus your efforts on the most successful links and QR codes. This helps you really understand what's resonating with your audience and what's not resonating with your audience. You want to see what's working, because I don't know about anybody here, but I don't want to continue to do things that are not working. But I know very much, just like finances, if you don't know how much money is going in, you're not going to understand why all the money is going out at the end of the day. So you have to understand what is really working and what is not working, so that you're able to optimize and really get the best campaigns, whether that be for links or QR codes. Now, the last one, but certainly not the least, and I think is one of the most interesting ones, is the number of clicks and scans by location. Now, this shows the effectiveness of the efforts of your marketing campaigns or your links or your QR codes by the particular region. Now, this is very valuable for that targeted marketing for the individuals that I saw in South Africa and the people in Wales and all of those other amazing places. You want to be able to understand what region are your links, are your QR codes really resonating with people the most at? And where can you really put your money into to really increase that? And if there is a region, let's say that is North America that's not performing the best, that lets you know that there's some work that needs to be done, and you can go and optimize and really increase it to the benchmarks that you have for the other regions that are currently there. So I would say that these 4 are really, really good places to start with choosing your success metrics. The number of clicks and scans over time, by refer, your top performing links, and then your number of clicks and scans by location. But I will hand this off to Daniel really quickly to talk about 2024 goals and looking where you are today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Armani. So we do have some data here that you can look at, particularly around click-through rates. So we've got an article in our help center, or not our help center, but our resource center about click-through rates. So you're welcome to scan that QR code or save the presentation and when we send it out later and check it out. What does a successful campaign look like in tactics? So all sorts of things are possible here. Of course, you're going to want to go into your data, and we'll talk about Bitly Analytics and what it looks like in a few moments here. So, this is a great way to set a baseline with your data, to benchmark with your data, and then look at trends and all sorts of stuff like that. We dropped the link in the chat. Joanne did, so you can see the click-through rates there. Just real quick before we move on, I did want to mention a couple of things I've been seeing in the chat about the analytics dashboard and all of that. We have a walkthrough with our product manager in just a few minutes to kind of give you a taste of what it all looks like. Certainly this is available with a lot of the Bitly paid plans, the historical data and the insights and all sorts of stuff like that. So Zach is going to show us all of that. For those of you who maybe have started to dive into it before, and maybe there's some confusions and questions and all sorts of like that. Hopefully this will illuminate some of the features and kind of show you where we are at and where we're going with this sort of stuff. Also just important to note that we're continuing to ideate and iterate on this. So one, your feedback is crucial. So if there's anything that you notice that is a little wonky or you're hoping for more, let us know, right? This is a two-way conversation. We're also constantly adding new data to this. So please make sure, to be checking back, whether it's time of day, historical benchmarks, all that sort of stuff. So love hearing from you, and let's just continue this conversation.
Beautiful. Now, how will you achieve those goals? On the next slide here, we're going to talk about some ideas for campaigns that we've seen work over time in SMS and QR codes and in general. Now, with the SMS campaign, something that I've seen a lot of and something that I use a lot is the event and appointment check-ins. I think this works very well for things like Eventbrite events where you click on the link and then you get your ticket and you're able to scan in and go to your event of choice. Or if you're clicking for an appointment, going to the doctor's office, and you want to not wait in line. I think that's another really good use case that we've seen happen a lot. And again, marketing, retargeting, and promotions, whether that be on X or Instagram or Facebook, this is being used a lot. Sending these links through SMS so that individuals can click and go directly to where they are wanted by their company. Number two is the QR codes. And this one, loyalty program signup since COVID has been very, very high. I've seen this in a lot of different restaurants, and it's something that I've been a part of myself, where I have went to sign into, believe it was Velvet Taco, and sign up for their loyalty program and get free tacos and really be engaged with them, sign up for a newsletter. It's really, really convenient for the consumer. Number two is that on-package product information and warranties. I don't know if you guys seen it, but on a lot of different products today, they are implementing barcodes or QR codes where you can scan them and actually get more product information. I think that there is a company, Pepsi, may do it on their soda cans where you can scan it and get their nutritional ingredients, see if there's any allergens in it, and really get that detailed knowledge of what is going on with that product, which I've seen be really cool. Now, in general, there's a lot of personalized URLs for event signups. If you want to sign up for volunteering, account information, brand ambassador management, things like that. But these are just a few ideas for you all if you are currently wondering what you could do within any of these different mediums, SMS, QR, or just general. These are a really good place to start. And Daniel, I will hand it over to you as we get closer to Zach and our analytics platform being showed.
All right, I'm diving into the chat and getting into the weeds with some folks here. So I'm going to come up for air real quick. All right, Bitly Analytics. Armani, if you wouldn't mind clicking on through. So we're going to show you the Bitly Analytics, and we're going to have Zach, our product manager, come aboard for this chat and share a little bit with what is going on.
Great. Thank you both.
Yeah, sorry, that was not a very
myself.
strong intro. So
That's great. I can take it from here. Just to introduce myself real quickly to everyone, I'm Zach Jones. I'm one of the senior product managers here at Bitly, and I'm excited to share our new product, Bitly Analytics. I'm going to take a second just to share my screen here. Great. So here at Bitly, we believe knowing how your short links and QR codes are performing should be as easy as making them. I'm going to share my screen now, as you're seeing, and this is going to showcase our latest product. So keep in mind, this is a dev environment that we're seeing, so it's fake data. We may see some wonkiness, but we're going to walk through it all today together. So this is the default dashboard that you'll land on when you come to this page, and it's awaiting customization to your needs. We built it for simplicity so anyone can understand and use data to make better decisions for their business. I'm going to walk us through a few actions for customizing your dashboard and discovering insights from the data. To start, it's made up of these different chart types, all called modules. You can edit each of these, you can remove them, and you can also add new ones. I'm just going to take a second to move my screen around a little bit so I can see things more clearly. Great. So starting off, I'm going to show us how to edit one of these modules. It's really easy. All you have to do is click on the three dots and then click edit. This brings up our edit module view. And from here, you can customize the chart type and think of this as what type of data is being shown. You see the list of options that we have here to start, but keep in mind, we're adding new ones all the time and would love any feedback you have on different data types you would like to see in your dashboard. In addition to what type of data is being showed, we also have options for how that's displayed. So we have the donut here, which is really great for seeing the different proportions of your referrers in this case. But I'm interested in seeing the full breadth of referrers that are accessing my links. So I'm going to switch this over to the bar chart. Click save, and you can see how that's immediately reflected on the dashboard, right where that same module was left off. Cool. So moving on, let's also talk a little bit about adding another module. I'm hoping to understand the reach and impact of each ad and campaign that I have. Right now, by default, we have this map view that we're looking at, and you can hover each of these to see the exact number of clicks and scans there, and the shading is a guide to help see the more shaded something is, the more clicks and scans it's getting. So it's a great preview into where I'm getting clicks. In addition to this, though, I'd really like to have a quick list of all the countries that I'm reaching. So I'm going to go ahead and add a new module. In the top right, we see this blue button to pull up. Sorry, same thing like I was saying, dev environment and things. Sometimes things are a little funky. But here we are. Our same add a new module page. And it's, just as you would expect with the editing, you're creating a new one. Instead of performance over time, I'm going to dig into that location. And like I was saying, the table view is going to give me the full list of all of the countries that I have clicks and scans for. I can quickly add that to the dashboard, and right at the bottom, I'll be able to dig into that list. And what we're seeing here is the number of clicks and scans for each of those countries. And I'm also seeing the percentage that's making up of all of my total clicks and scans. So you can get a sense, is one country where most of your audience is? Are you spread across a handful of countries, and start to make decisions from there? Everyone's data is different, so it's important to keep an eye on this to help establish your own benchmarks and goals. While I'm down here, I'm going to highlight one of our modules called Top Performing. The importance of this one is it allows you to track and manage your broad range that you have of short links and QR codes across your different emails, SMS campaigns that you might be doing, landing pages, social posts, and prints. Think of all the different channels that you're sharing your links. You can quickly get a sense of where to invest your time to create personalized experiences that resonate your audience. And a cool part about this is it helps connect to the rest of our app. So you're seeing the top link here. You're able to click on that, and it's going to open up a new tab to dig into that link specifically. So from there, you can see what countries that specific link is getting the most traffic from, what refers, channels it's going, and also the device type, all depending on what plan you have. So this is a really powerful tool for getting a quick view of how your different assets are performing. One piece I want to move on to next is that by default, this dashboard is showing data for all of your links and QR codes. Now, all of us here, I'm sure, are running many different campaigns, be that online or offline, combination of the two. And it's going to be most helpful to dig into the links or QR codes most associated with that campaign. And that's what the filters allow us to do. So I'm able to open this up, and I can quickly type in the series of QR codes that I'm interested in, filtering this down for, select each of those to add it to the dashboard, apply, and then we'll see that the data is updated so that we're seeing specifically the metrics associated with those QR codes. It's very easy to then clear these out, replace it with different ones. And just as a preview, we're in the process of developing the functionality to have multiple dashboards for some of our paid plans, so that say you have a number of campaigns that you're working on and you want to have a dashboard for each, you'll be able to support that. So that's just a preview into some of our roadmap upcoming for the upcoming quarters. Great. The last bit of functionality that I want to highlight for you all is the ability to export. We want to save some time when you're putting together your presentations. So each of these different modules, you can download whatever you need, and you can add it to the latest stakeholder report that you have. You can do that in, let's say, a CSV format if you want to dig into the raw data itself, or you can do them in images if you want to add that to an email, presentation, whatever sort of communication channels that you're using. So you have it ready to go right there. Everything's meant to be super simple is our goal here to help you deliver new insights. But yeah, that was definitely a quick run through of Bitly Analytics. There's a lot that we've built here. There's a lot that we're looking to build in the quarters to come. So really appreciate all of you taking the time to learn about the product, but also provide some feedback on the direction that we have as we explore some new opportunities. So for now, I'll hand it back over to Daniel and Armani for the remaining sections of our webinar here.
Thanks a lot, Zach. Zach, can I put you on the spot for a potential feature?
Sure, let's hear it.
When we talk about location data and like zooming in on the map and whatnot, is beyond the MVP, this kind of intro, are we looking at like state level where people can kind of zip in and zoom in and see a little bit more granular location data?
Yeah, that's a great call out, and I appreciate you looking ahead to the roadmap there. Right now, we started with this zoomed out worldview, but we're working on getting the data set right so that, say you're in the US, for example, you're able to drill down into what specific states. So yes, that is something that's upcoming on our roadmap this year.
Great, awesome. Looking forward to it. Not only am I paid by Bitly here, of course, ladies and gentlemen, but I am a huge Bitly user, was in a previous role, going all the way back to my teacher days. So just as excited as hopefully all you are about this sort of stuff. All right, heading back into the presentation. And again, folks, if you have continued questions about this, Zach's sticking around in the chat to help answer questions. So keep them coming and all that sort of stuff. So time zones, great, great future thing. We're just feedback. We're collecting it all, guys. You can help us build the best Bitly possible. All right. If we can go back to the presentation, Armani, real quick. I think it went to the story.
Oh, let's do it. Sorry about that.
No problem. This is almost the same photo, but back to the deck.
I got you.
Cool. Bitly Analytics. Just wanted to show a quick use case of folks who are already getting a lot out of what's going on here at Bitly. This is Modus Brewery. I don't know if we have anybody tuning in from Australia, but they are a craft brewery in Australia, and they have used Bitly QR codes in a really fun way. So they were up for a contest to be one of the top 100 breweries in the Australia-Asia region. And so folks, they were trying to get people to vote for their beer, Cerveza Lager. And so they put Bitly QR codes everywhere. And so they had it on posters and coasters and all sorts of stuff around the brewery. But not only that, they put a QR code on their cans, right? It said, scan, vote here, get us on this list, help us go up against the big folks, and all sorts of stuff like that, and to get votes. And so the cool thing about what they were able to do, the small, modest brewery, they were able to gather up all of these QR code scans, and they were tracking, right? Are we getting more play from the cans? Are we getting more play from the coasters in the physical location? Are we capturing votes from a tasting event? All sorts of stuff. And so all sorts of stuff is going on here. And beer lager, yes. And they were able to just basically see their progress over time. Where were votes ramping up? Where could they put more focus on this? And the great thing about this, and if you wouldn't mind click and play on the video, we made a little animation for them. They were able to win the top 30 spot. They went from not even being in the top 100 to number 30 on the list. They had over 16,000 scans of their QR code. So that doesn't include clicks to, through social media or anything like that. But this QR code campaign got them onto number 30 on the list there, which was phenomenal, right? A small regional brewery being able to crack this list and get their Mexican lager right on their list. So great use case, time of day, right? Where the foot traffic was in the brewery, where people were scanning the QR code from the grocery aisle or their homes, all sorts of stuff like that. So love hearing that from Modus, just one of those kind of small business use cases of digital and physical worlds coming together for a great result, right? They had a goal, right? Their baseline was, we're not in the 100, right? They had a benchmark, let's get inside that 100. And they tracked it all the way to number 30 on the list, and did a great job. And we're really proud that they were able to use the Bitly QR code to make that happen, plus analytics. All right. Those of you who are paid users of Bitly, you can log in right now and take a look at the analytics dashboard. So Zach showed it off, and there's a lot of things going on there. For those of you that are free users and maybe curious about analytics, there is sample data in your Bitly dashboard. You can click on that and see what the dashboards look like, interact with some of the modules, all sorts of stuff like that. If you're curious to learn more about what each part of the Bitly platform, again, if you're a user who's been kind of playing around and exploring, you can see the feature breakdown by scanning the QR code. It's a great opportunity to see what's there. If you want to upgrade to a Bitly paid plan, again, align this with your benchmarks, your baselines, and your trends, and all sorts of stuff like that. The features breakdown is here. Got a 404 with the QR code. Awesome. If it's not working, that's probably my fault. We'll drop the link in the chat for y'all. QR codes do work, I promise you that, unless you have operator error, which in this case, that's my bad. The other thing, and hopefully this next slide, the QR code works for you. We do actually want to leave you all with a chance at winning some Bitly swag. Maybe y'all are coming to Bitly for the first time. Maybe you are Bitly avids. We have a fun little quiz for you on our Instagram page. If you scan this QR code and give us a follow on Instagram, one, you're really helping my metrics, my Bitly analytics. And again, like I said, my boss is in the chat and watching. So if you can help me out by giving a like and a follow, we want you to take, you can also do it on LinkedIn if you want, Karen. Yeah, social people help social people, love it. You can win up to $75 in Bitly swag. So we actually just launched a new swag store. So we've got those very popular Stanley tumblers, we've got hats, we've got sweaters, we've got marine layer sweatpants, all sorts of stuff. If you take our Bitly Analytics quiz, and I promise you, it is easy, or as easy as using Bitly Analytics, this quiz is going to astound you. Okay, scan the QR code, take the quiz. You've actually got multiple chances to enter. You can enter via taking the quiz on Instagram stories and sending us a DM with your score. You can go to the in-feed graphic and leave a comment below. You can go to LinkedIn and you can leave us a comment and on the Bitly page, and you can enter to win. So we're giving away $75 to the Bitly swag store. Good luck. It's super hard. I bet some of you could even probably answer it before I finish talking in this sentence. It's that great. So thanks for the follows. Thanks for the engagement. Thank you all for tuning in to this sort of conversation. We love having you here. For those of you who have more questions, right, about pricing, plans, features, all that sort of stuff, we're available, right? Bitly has always been here for you. 16 years now. Can you believe it, Armani? Email us, okay? community@bitly. We want to take your questions. Social, like I just said before, help me do my job, help me grow my own followers. We can do a follow for follow here. Hit me up. I'm @bitly on X, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. Someday we'll get that TikTok, all that sort of stuff, Facebook. We'll see you. And then if you have more questions about analytics, of course you do, right? The Help Center has all of these really in-depth articles for you to explore, hey, how much time can I see with this plan? Or what sort of link metrics are available? Loved engaging with you in the chat. Armani, great to hang out with you today. Great to see you. You're right up the road in Dallas, and you haven't invited me over yet.
Oh, that's true. Where are you based out of, actually?
I'm down the road in Austin.
Oh, yeah, we have to do.
Literally your neighbor.
We didn't plan this out, by the way, guys. But you all definitely have a great day, a great Thursday. It's almost the weekend. I call Thursdays pre-Fridays or third Fridays because I kind of combine them, because who really wants to work full days on Fridays? Don't tell anybody else that, though. Anyways, guys, I hope you all have a really good one, and please do connect with us. You all have a great day. Thank you.
Yep, and we will be sending the recording. So those of you who tuned in, you'll all get the recording. You can rewatch this classic exchange here. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time. See you on social media. I'm here to chat.